我呀！
This seemingly heartfelt reunion scene is actually not between lovers, not between family. No one would have expected it. Not only do the two have no blood relationship at all, but they only knew each other for 4 months, yet the man remembered her for 27 years, and searched for her for 27 years. This happened in 2016, on CCTV's reunion stage. A 37-year-old big boss from Jiangxi, in order to find the rainbow sister he had lost contact with for 27 years, resolutely stepped onto the reunion stage. Although he had known the older sister for less than 4 months, their relationship still moved everyone deeply. Who exactly is this older sister, and what kind of charm does she have that could make a successful big boss unable to forget her for 27 years? After the reunion door opened, a woman with outstanding temperament appeared. After seeing the woman's face, the big boss disregarded his image, knelt on the ground and cried loudly, shouting again and again, "It's been so many years, why didn't you come to look for me? What kind of story is there between them?" This big boss is named Chai Xiaoming. In 2016, he went on the program Wait for Me Alone, and after taking the stage he said he wanted to find a woman he had been thinking about for 27 years. At first everyone thought he was looking for a former first love, but Chai Xiaoming denied it. He said that he and this woman had only 4 months of time, but it was these 4 months that saved his entire life, and this person is his rainbow sister. Chai Xiaoming said he was very naughty when he was a child. When he was young, many people thought that when he grew up he would be the type to go to prison, and it was the rainbow sister who saved him and kept him from going down the wrong path. That was in 1989. Chai Xiaoming was studying at the Employees Children's School in the Jiangxi reclamation farm in Yifeng County, and before he was even 1 year old his biological father passed away, and his mother remarried a stepfather. There were 4 siblings in the family, many children, and the conditions were not very good, so he suffered a lot of unfair treatment, and his stepfather beat and scolded him constantly, which also formed his rebellious personality. Although he was not even 10 years old, he was a well-known little bully locally, and many parents would not let their children play with him. His grades were not good, but he was good at fighting. Once Chai Xiaoming caused trouble at school, smashed a classmate's head open, and after he got home he was beaten and scolded by his stepfather, and in anger he ran away from home with his school bag on his back. At that time he had nowhere to go, so he climbed into a classroom at school, locked the door by himself, and cried inside. Right at that moment, he met the rainbow sister who would change his life. Right at that moment, someone walked past outside the classroom, and this person was Chai Hong. They had just finished class not long ago, and heard faint crying from inside the classroom, so she knocked on the classroom door. Chai Xiaoming was afraid it was his family, and he did not open it, until half an hour later when he was sure it was not family, then he opened the door. The rainbow sister gently asked what happened, and after learning why Xiaoming was hiding there, she gently comforted him, and hoped he would go home. But Chai Xiaoming refused no matter what, and after he finally agreed, Chai Xiaoming was too sleepy, and after walking just a few steps he almost fell asleep. When he woke up the next day he learned it was the rainbow sister who carried him back to her own dorm. The next day Chai Xiaoming's mother came to the school, and the rainbow sister gently discussed things with the mother and the teachers, and in the end the family stopped making trouble, and took Chai Xiaoming back home. After that, Chai Xiaoming had one more family member, and this family member was the rainbow sister. At school, the rainbow sister always took extra care of him. Seeing him dirty, she would also wash his face and wash his hair. To Chai Xiaoming, the rainbow sister was better than his own family. But who would have thought, 4 months later, because of one matter, the two were separated for 27 years.
这弟弟一直在我心里。我的手机里永远都有一条备忘，就是母校小明，不管换多少手机，都在里面，一直在。
A 37-year-old big boss from Jiangxi took the stage, searching for the rainbow sister he had lost contact with for 27 years. Although they only knew each other for 4 months, it made him remember her for a lifetime. What kind of charm does this rainbow sister have? In his youth, Chai Xiaoming was naughty and mischievous, and by coincidence he came to know Chai Hong, the older sister. Although they were not real older sister and younger brother, the older sister took great care of him. One was an elementary school student, one was a high school sophomore, separated by 7 or 8 years in age, but the older sister was like a beam of light, lighting up his entire life. When he was young, he was always naughty, and his grades were not good, and the older sister always gently advised him to study hard. At first Chai Xiaoming did not take it seriously, but watching the gentle older sister, every time she kept putting the food from her bowl onto his, made him, who had never felt warmth, suddenly feel the warmth of family. So in Chai Xiaoming's heart, the Rainbow Sister's words were even more important than his family's words. He did not know why he was like this, he only knew the Rainbow Sister was truly good to him. The older sister's family conditions were not good either. Back then they all brought dishes from home to school, and at school they would buy a little rice and eat like that. His own family had many siblings, and he also often could not eat well, but the older sister always gave him her own things as much as possible. At that time he was young, right in the growing stage, and every meal he ate a lot, but the older sister never disliked it, and always chose the best food for him. Seeing what the older sister did for him, he also began to listen, and slowly learned to get better. But at first he would agree one day, and the next day he would be naughty again, but gradually from 1 or 2 days, to later persisting for a week, and then later completely becoming better. During the time he spent with the older sister, Chai Xiaoming not only did not do a single bad thing, even his grades broke through to 90 points, something he never thought possible. At this time everything was moving in a good direction, and under the older sister's guidance, Chai Xiaoming became a good student in both character and academics. But all of this was ultimately broken after 4 months. That was in 1990, his mother planned to transfer Chai Xiaoming to another school. Living in the countryside with his stepfather, life was bad and he was always beaten and scolded, so his mother decided to transfer him to the county town, to live with his grandmother. When Chai Xiaoming heard it, he was extremely happy. Finally he would not be beaten at home anymore. He excitedly told the older sister he was going to transfer schools, and that he would not come here anymore. He thought the older sister would be happy for him, but who knew the older sister did not say anything and just left. The next day when he came to handle the transfer, the older sister gave him a notebook and a pen, and then left. Seeing the older sister's sadness, he did not know what he did wrong. The older sister's lonely expression kept lingering in his mind. Later he finally understood. Was the older sister blaming him for leaving without saying a word? But what he wanted to express was, he would no longer have to watch his stepfather's face, and he would also come back to find the older sister. Maybe the older sister saw how excited he was, and thought he did not want to acknowledge her as his older sister anymore, so she left sadly. Later, during summer vacation, Chai Xiaoming returned to the countryside and went to the school to look, and found the older sister had also gone home for vacation, but he did not know where the older sister was at that time. When he came back the next year, he was told the older sister had gone to university. After finishing the first year of middle school, Chai Xiaoming did not continue school. First he went to learn car repair, but he was allergic to gasoline. Then he learned to be a cook for 3 years, and after that he went to Shenzhen to work. Later he unexpectedly learned the older sister's university was in Zhejiang, but when he bought a ticket and arrived in Zhejiang, he was told the older sister had already graduated, been assigned a job, and left. He also did not expect that hurried farewell back then would be a farewell forever. 27 years later, Chai Xiaoming became successful, but he never forgot the Rainbow Sister. Many times in the low points of his life, it was the older sister's image that encouraged him. Until 2016, he stepped onto the reunion stage, wanting to find the older sister through television media. Did he finally find her?
才回家，太感恩你了，生命中的贵人。对于我们全家来说，是我们生命中的贵人。
A 37-year-old boss from Jiangxi took the stage, searching for the Rainbow Sister he had been separated from for 27 years. The reunion door opened, and the moment he saw the older sister, he disregarded his image and knelt down, crying loudly. Chai Xiaoming never imagined that the hurried farewell back then would become a farewell forever. Although he had no news of the older sister at all, he never gave up searching. In the blink of an eye, 27 years passed. Although he had already become a successful big boss, he never forgot the Rainbow Sister for a single moment. Later he saw online that many people found long-lost family through the media, so he also went on CCTV's reunion program. Very quickly, the program team used the information he provided, and found a suspected person in Ningbo, Could this person be his rainbow sister? Chai Xiaoming walked to the reunion door. He looked at the reunion door with full expectation. The moment the door opened, a woman with outstanding temperament came out. With just one glance, Chai Xiaoming recognized his rainbow sister. Although he had become a big boss, he still disregarded his image and knelt on the ground crying loudly, and even said, "Why didn't you come to look for me?" The older sister immediately stepped forward and hugged Chai Xiaoming. Looking at Chai Xiaoming, she said, "You've grown strong." Chai Xiaoming held on tightly, afraid the older sister would disappear again. The older sister told the host, actually she always had this younger brother in her heart. Over the next 27 years, no matter how many phones she changed, in her memo there were always the words Xiaoming from the alma mater. After learning the older sister had also been thinking of him, Chai Xiaoming collapsed even more. Chai Hong explained, when the younger brother left back then, she was very sad. Seeing how happy the younger brother was, she thought the younger brother no longer needed her, and she was also a very proud person, so she kept misunderstanding the younger brother. But later she came to her senses, and wanted to find the younger brother, yet she had no news of the younger brother, and as a result the two misunderstood each other for so many years. For so many years she also worried about the younger brother, worried whether he ate well and stayed warm, worried whether he learned bad things from others. Seeing that the younger brother was now so successful, she also felt relieved. She did not hope he would have great abilities. As long as he was safe and healthy, that was enough. Throughout the entire time, Chai Xiaoming tightly held the older sister's arm, like a wronged child asking for candy. In the older sister's heart, he indeed was always a child. Chai Xiaoming said, although 27 years had passed, the older sister had not changed at all, still so beautiful, still so full of temperament, only her hair was a little longer than before. Chai Xiaoming said, after finding the older sister this time, he swore he would never lose contact again. Right after that, Chai Xiaoming's biological older sister carried Chai Xiaoming's son and walked onto the stage. The biological older sister also thanked the rainbow sister even more. It was precisely because of the rainbow sister's kindness that the younger brother could make such a change, and thus meant there was the life of today. She thanked the rainbow sister from the bottom of her heart. Watching the family reunite, everyone present had tears in their eyes. A pair of older sister and younger brother with no blood relationship at all, because of 4 months of care, remembered each other for a lifetime. This kind of feeling is very moving. This whole family are kind people, and they will surely have a better and better life in the future. Give a thumbs up for kind people.
Some people only walk with you for a very short stretch, yet they change your whole life. They have no blood ties, no promises. They don't even have a formal goodbye. Yet the rainbow sister, in the younger brother's darkest time, gave him a beam of light. 27 years have passed. The world changed, people changed, but that kindness did not change. And that longing also did not change. Maybe in this life, we don't necessarily become someone very great, but as long as when others need it most, we have a little more patience, a little more kindness, we might become the rainbow in someone else's life. You never know. One small gentleness from you will be remembered by someone for a lifetime. May we all be lit up by kindness, and may we also one day become the beam of light that lights up others.